Here there is a greater problem, and here there are rewards that wouldn't be available to you unless you had sought this greater resolution in your life. Not only is there resolution, there is accomplishment, and with it all of the things that you have come into the world to serve. Knowledge is here. Meaning is here, the underlying meaning of how you do things and who you are. Here the emphasis is not so much on little problems, but on the whole environment in which they exist. Alter this environment, and everything changes with it. Problems don't go away. They are just minimized and become more interesting. Very few people enter this level of problem solving. This is advancement. In the greater community, much of the competition is for intelligence. Intelligence is developed both within the context of an individual's life and over the span of generations in his or her particular race by solving problems, little ones and in some cases, the big one itself. Knowledge is there. Knowledge is working on the big problem. Knowledge is guiding you to solve the intermediate ones. And for the little ones, knowledge is saying to you, work it out. Work it out. Work it out. You can see here why people cannot comprehend knowledge, its presence, its reality or its wisdom. They have little problems which have become big to them. They are asking knowledge to solve them, and knowledge is saying, work it out. Work it out. They say, I can't work it out. It is too big. It is too difficult. Knowledge says, work it out. Knowledge is not understood here because people think little problems are enormously huge. When you solve problems and you get most of them out of the way, what do you have left? You have emptiness. This is the invitation to go into the mystery of your life, but many people do not realize this. With no problems to solve, they become frustrated, anxiety sets in, and then emptiness. In the realm of the big problem, you work with knowledge, you follow knowledge, and knowledge teaches you how to address all the practical dilemmas involved. It teaches you how to address the adjustments you need to make in your own thinking and in your emotional life. When you work with knowledge, you receive the greatness of knowledge, the silence of knowledge, the mystery of knowledge, the discernment of knowledge, and the peace of knowledge. It is true that the wiser a person becomes, the fewer little problems they have and the more they treasure emptiness so that they can engage with knowledge in a big way. At the outset, a person is overtaken by little problems and intermediate problems. So often the first thing that happens in following the way of knowledge is learning how to resolve these things so that you are free to go on to something greater. And the funny thing is, you have to do it yourself. You can get help, but you have to do it. It is when you cross that threshold and you enter the mystery of your life and you take on bigger problems without neglecting the little ones that you enter the realm of the big problem. That is when knowledge becomes something very real. Over time, if you persist, you will feel its greatness, and you will begin to understand its intention. Before this, knowledge is just a strange and intriguing idea, but hardly useful in solving little problems, which are usually thought to be big problems. Another way of saying this is when you learn to solve little problems efficiently so that you have very few of them with you at any given time, and you are able to deal with them as expediently as possible, then you graduate into a different kind of problem solving in life and a different kind of life altogether. Here you can begin to see the problem for beginning students of knowledge. This includes almost everyone in the world, since advanced students of knowledge generally are not even on the physical plane here. So, be happy to be a beginner. You can see the problem for beginning students of knowledge. They think their little problems are big. They think their big problem is little, or they don't think of it at all. And they seek divine intervention or divine counsel on their behalf. They seek wisdom, but their whole approach is wrong. Their whole evaluation is incorrect. So, what happens? Misunderstanding, confusion, anxiety, and resentment. They don't understand. Knowledge was supposed to come and help them out and reveal itself. Often even common sense is beyond the reach of people. They can't even engage with that, so what is the point of seeking something greater? There are many issues here. For instance, when people are getting engaged in exploring the possibility that they have a spiritual life, they often think that if they are doing the right thing, everything works out great. Doors open for you. Nothing is that difficult. If something is difficult, well, then something must be wrong in your approach, or something like this. This is completely wrong. When you are doing the right thing, sometimes things happen very easily and wonderfully. Sometimes when you are doing the right thing, things are very difficult with lots of obstacles and you have to work very hard to overcome them. Sometimes when you are doing the wrong thing, everything seems to work out and is easy until you realize how wrong it is. Sometimes when you are doing the wrong thing, it is very difficult and there are tons of obstacles to overcome, except that here you cannot overcome them. So, do not be fooled by the appearance of things. Because something is hard or problematic doesn't necessarily mean it is incorrect for you to be engaged with it. The true way in life for you will be wonderfully easy at times, and at other times it will be very difficult. The wrong way will sometimes look easy, but will always be difficult. Therefore, the approach to building wisdom is to learn to solve little problems at the level at which they occur and to keep them from becoming intermediate problems or chronic problems. Keep them small, but don't neglect them, and then begin to engage with the real problem in your life, which is following a path towards realization and contribution. Both are necessary, not one without the other. If you go off towards a spiritual life and you forget about paying your bills or keeping track of your keys or maintaining your physical health, you will be in for many kinds of difficulties and you will not go very far. So, you must do both. Your little problems will lessen as you learn not to avoid them but to attend to them as soon as you are aware of them. Then you are free to save part of your time, focus and concentration for the big problem. As you approach the big problem, you will realize that you cannot define it and your definitions will have to change. This will lead you to adhere to a greater power within you and within the world. You are called on to be cooperative with the greater power rather than be a recipient of it only. The big problem is not something you just solve and it's over with. It is something you live with, and as you learn to live with the problem in a conscious and effective way, you learn to live the resolution. You cannot escape the big problem. You either live it in its unsolved state or you live the resolution, but you are always with it. It is always there for you. As you proceed along the way, many of your former conclusions, assumptions and beliefs fall away, and what takes their place is openness. Real openness, not a pretend openness. Real openness. This means you can be empty and open to a situation, carefully observant of it and responsible to what you know. Problems can be avoided if this is your approach. You will want to minimize your complaints about life because complaints disable you from resolving things that are within your grasp to resolve. What you can resolve alone are the little problems. What you cannot resolve alone is the big problem. For the little problems you need help from knowledge periodically. For the big problem you will need knowledge completely. Not only will you need knowledge, you must join with knowledge. You must unite with knowledge. You must let knowledge overtake you, teach you and prepare you. This is where your mental life and your spiritual life become joined, married and united. This completely transforms you as a person so that you can begin to live the big problem and to live its resolution. To a casual observer perhaps you will not look any different. You will still have to find your keys. You will still have to fix your car. You will still have to get your physical aches attended to, and you will still have to make enough money to live. But here the similarities end, for we are dealing with a person living in a different universe, a different life with a different mind so different that there is no comparison. This is possible for you. Begin today to accept the presence of all the little problems in your life and accept that it is given to you, with the assistance of others, to resolve them and to minimize them so that you can take on the big problem that is calling for you, that is awaiting you, whose resolution is awaiting you with rewards that are beyond human estimation. Here you learn to support yourself. You learn about your nature, which is how you do things, your thinking and behavior. You learn about the nature of others and their similarities and differences from your own nature. You realize your inner strength. Your priorities begin to change and you seek greater things. To reach these greater things you will seek a greater power, for greater things can only be acquired or received with a greater power. Take on the big problem of your life. Do not neglect the little ones, and you will open doors that are waiting for you, for they are open already.